For the students in this trial with the 3 highest scores, approximately what is the average number of hours they spent studying? And so that would be this one, the very highest, this one, the second highest, and then this one, the third highest. Those are the 3 highest scores. And how much time did they spend studying? Well, this one spent studying 45. This one, we'll call it 44. And this will say that appears to be about 29. And so we could add these 3 up and divide by 2. I'm going to say let's subtract 30 from all of these, and we'll get much easier numbers to add. Subtract 30, and what we'll get is 15, 14, and -1. When we take the sum of this, we get 29 minus 1, which is 28. And the average of this, of course, when we divide by 3, it's slightly over 9 point something. And so add 30 again, it's about 39. So about 39 is the average of these 3 numbers. Answer choice D. Among the students in this trial who studied for 20 hours or more, what fraction of them performed worse than expected according to the best fit line? And express your answer as a fraction. So first of all, here's the line studying for 20 hours. We're only concerned with the ones who studied for more than 20 hours, so all these points are irrelevant over here. So let's think about this best fit line. This best fit line is the expectation. That's the expectation that, according to this model, if you study for this long, you should get this score. Anyone above the line outperformed the expectation. Anyone below the line underperformed or performed worse than the expectation. So above the line, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 above the line, 1, 2, 3. This one, even though it's very close to the line, it counts as below the line. 3 below the line. So altogether, there are 10 points here. And of these 10, 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, they have a location below the line. They perform worse than expected. Incidentally, I'll say, don't be afraid of the simple answer on a graph, especially with a trend line. Sometimes all you're being asked to do is count the number of points above or below the line. Don't be afraid of it because it seems so simple. That's the point of graphs. Graphs are supposed to make things simple. They're supposed to make things visual and easy for us. That's why people use graphs. So indeed, 3 of the 10 points are below the line. So 3/10 is our answer. Among the students in this trial who studied less than 25 hours, what is the highest GRE quant score achieved? So this vertical line right here is the 25-hour line, and anything that's more than this is irrelevant. So we're ignoring all of this, and we want to know, technically it looks like that person's right on the 25, so we wouldn't even count that person. We'd want to know if all the points that are to the left of this line, all the people who studied for 25 hours or less, what is the highest value? And the highest value is right here. It is that point just below the 155 line, so we'll call that 154. 154 is the score of that particular point. Answer choice C. Which of the following gives the range of the median number of hours of TV watched last week? So we interviewed 82 high school students. So what this histogram is showing us the arrangement of these 82 values. If we put these 82 values on a list in order, so you can imagine value 1, 2, 3, half of 82 is 41, so there'd be a 41st value, there'd be a 42nd value, then all the way up to 82. The average of the 41st and the 42nd value, that's where we would find the median. If those two happen to be the same, then that would be the number. If those two values are different, we would average them. That would be the median. Well, where are we going to find the 41st value? Well, think of it this way. This column has a height of 13. The first 13 numbers on the list are there. This column has a height of 35. The next 35 numbers on the list are here. So by the time we get to the end of this column, 13 plus 35 is 48. We've already gone through 48 numbers.
So that means the first 48 numbers on the list are taken care of in these first two columns. So the 41st number is somewhere in this column. This column right here, answer choice B. Which of the following could be the third quartile value for the number of hours of TV watched last week? The third quartile. Let's think about this. If we made a list of the numbers, there'd be a first value, a second value, a third value. Somewhere down the list, there'd be a 41st value, a 42nd value, and then we'd get all the way down to the 82nd value on the list. Well, the 41st and the 42nd, 42 of course is 41 is half of 82. So right here between the 41st and the 42nd number, that's the median of the list. That divides the list in half. To find the third quartile, we take this upper half, the half of the list above the median, from the 42nd value to the 82nd value. Well, of course, there are 41 numbers on the lower half of the list and 41 on the higher half of the list. So that means that there'll be 20 numbers, then a number in the middle, and then another 20 numbers. That's how the 40 numbers are going to be split up. And that number right there, the middle of that upper 41, that's going to be the third quartile. So 41 plus 20, 61, it's going to be the 62nd value on the list is going to be the third quartile. Well, where would we find the 62nd value on the list? That's an interesting question. Well, this column has a height of 13. That's the first 13 values on the list. This column has a height of 35, so up to here, 13 plus 35, that's 48. That's the 48 value on the list. This column here has a height of 17, so 48 plus 17, 58, 65. So by the time we get to the end of this column, the end of that third column, we're at the 65th value, and we've passed the 67th value. The 62nd value has to be somewhere in that 11 through 15 column. So it has to be one of those values in 11 through 15. The only value on the list that could be in that column is 11, which is answer choice A. Suppose all students surveyed answered in integer numbers of hours only. Suppose of the 82 surveyed, only one respondent answered 16 hours. Within this group, the approximate percentile of this person would be which of the following? So in other words, one person answered 16 hours. So this person here would not be above any of the other respondents, even in this own column, because all the rest of the people would be 17, 18, 19, 20. So this person would only be larger than the first three columns. So how many people are in the first three columns? Well, there's 13 in this, 35 in this, 17 in this. If we add those up, that is 65. So this person here is bigger than 65 people. So 65 out of 82. Looks like we might need a calculator, but let's think about this. We could make the top a bit smaller, make that 64, make the bottom a bit smaller, 80. We make a slight reduction to both the numerator and the denominator. The fraction is going to stay about the same. 64 over 80, divide both the top and bottom by 8. Of course, this is 8 over 10, or 80%. And that is enough to isolate answer choice E.